One more time.
My, oh my, it's episode 35.
I thought you said arrive alive at first.
Welcome back to Name 3 Players.
Welcome back to Name 3 Players. My name is Victoria, and this is my co-host Raegan, and you're listening to episode 35, Arrive Alive.
You sounded like a late night radio DJ that's like, and you're listening to...
Ooh, the sultry ones? That always weirded me out. Like, why? They're like, this is After Hours with Q104.
So we don't want to rebrand into that?
Oh my God. Sex radio? Do you know that was a thing? People, like, would call into public radio, and they would, like, talk dirty.
I didn't know it was public radio.
Yeah. Okay, maybe it wasn't public.
I know you could, like talk to people on the phone.
No. It wasn't public. You're so right for that. It was, what's, like, the transistor radio. Okay, I'm about to say something funny. You know, on the Friends episode, we're like, transponsor.
That's not even a word. Well,
welcome back to Name 3 Players. I'm your host, Victoria.
And I'm Raegan.
And this is Sports for the Girls.
And Chloe just gave us the rock on.
Rock on. Does that mean that was good?
Yeah.
Was that like so episode 35 of us?
Like trigger fingers, but like
rock on. That's so Chloe coded.
I do be rocking on.
Yeah. I stay rocking on.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, so whether you're a dedicated sports girly or you don't know shit and you need some bullet points for a hot date this weekend, we got you covered.
We sure do. And we've got a little bit of everything in the news stories this week.
Can't see it, but Reagan's mixing up a pot like a witch's brew.
And I'm not stirring the pot. I'm just letting you know we got a little bit of everything.
It's cooking.
All right. Anyway.
Let her cook.
Let me cook. Oh. Well.
You know what I thought about one day? What? You know what I thought about? Comma. One day, comma. We are going to have these audio recordings when we're like 72.
That's so depressing.
Being 72 or having audio recordings? Being
72, looking back on when we were 30, flirty, and thriving.
So true, bestie. Okay, so what I just said. When we're 72, we're going to have these audio recordings and we're going to not understand a fucking word we say because it's all either a TikTok sound, a bit we've created, a quote from something in popular culture, or like...
Popular culture?
Popular culture? Okay, see, I have a bone to pick with the English language because it should be pop cult.
Yeah.
If you're going to do like popular culture, it should be pop cult.
But it can't be cult.
Why?
Because then you're cult.
Pop.
That was a great explanation.
And, all right. Anyway, this is...
So we're changing it. Pop cult.
No, I don't like it. You can do that, though. We have a great episode for you girls.
I don't really talk about popular culture a ton, unless we're referencing, like, pop cult. Anyway, so this is Name 3 Players. It is not a pop cult podcast. We're sports for the girls.
Yeah, we are. And this week, we're also nutrition for the girls.
We are.
We have another guest for the girls.
We're carbs for the girls. We're meal prepping kinda for the girls.
We're, what did she say? Simplifying it for the girls.
I love that she said that.
Yeah, simplification for the girls.
But it is week 2 of our Glow Up 101 segment, and we are going over nutrition, and we have registered dietitian Abbi Brown on, and she was a fucking gem, and we can't wait for you to hear her.
Yeah, we hung up, and all three of us just looked at each other, and we're like, that's crazy.
I immediately
would like to be her.
To my personal Instagram and followed her, because I was like, we're going to be best friends.
Yeah.
And share a rotisserie chicken at some point. Catch us up, Riggs. What was your win and loss of the week?
I'm so glad you asked. I've been waiting for this.
Okay, I have 2. That's so silly. Because I don't usually prepare them. I like to be, like, spontaneous about it. But
well, I wanted to make this a story, but I was like...
You wanted to make your win and loss a story?
Here's why.
Oh.
So my win is college dance team nationals.
Oh, okay.
Dance is a sport.
It is.
Girls. And I... Oh.
I saw that happening in slow-mo and I just couldn't say anything fast enough.
The UDA Nationals took place in Florida this past weekend. And the girlies and the boys showed the fuck out.
The girlies and the boys.
Showed the fuck out. Minnesota, insane. Ohio State won Jazz Nationals.
Points to me.
LSU won hip hop. I swear to God, something shifted in the universe. Kaylee messaged me and she's like, I don't know anything about dance, but I think that you would really appreciate this. And it was the Minnesota Jazz routine. And I was like, you're so right, bestie. I did appreciate that.
God, that's sweet.
And then we traded dance videos back and forth. And this, like, I was on Nationals TikTok last year because I'm a dancer. But, like, everyone's talking about it. And leave it to the college girls and the college guys to put everything back on the map and be like, we're fucking out here doing this shit.
I love it. No, it's even been on, like, you know, my TikTok algorithm's a little weird.
Is CJ Stroud Thirst talk?
And now Caitlin Clark.
Crazy.
I got there. But yeah, I'm even there.
I want to try to explain this to the girls. If you're not a dancer, I want you to just think about standing on one leg, spinning around for 30 seconds,
Impossible.
Stopping, doing a aerial flip, and then on the leg that
aerial means in the air.
It's a no-handed cartwheel. Landing that on the leg that you've landed on, you just stand up and start turning again. No stopping. Just
yeah. No, it's crazy.
It's insanity. Mm-hmm. And then the LSU hip-hop dance was to all Michael Jackson, and they're just bad fucking bitches.
Oh, I'm looking that up immediately following
They're the girls that did the Like a Boy dance by Sierra
2
years ago. So, 10 out of 10, no notes. Everyone was a winner. I mean, it just
Who actually won, though?
Ohio State won Jazz. Minnesota won Pom. LSU won hip-hop.
Is Pom like cheerleading?
No. Pom is dancing with poms. Okay, yes. That sounds the same.
You immediately saw my face go, huh?
Yeah, no, I know. That sounds the same. So, like, cheerleading is obviously, like, flipping, yelling, stunting.
Flipping, yelling, stunting?
That is cheerleading. You're chanting, you're yelling, you're flipping, and you're stunting. Dancing is dancing to music, but there's a style of dance called pom where you do similar motions that a cheerleader would, but it's like dancing.
So there's like crossover.
Correct. In pom and cheer, yes. But like cheerleaders don't do jazz dances.
That was the breakdown. That's crazy.
Cheerleaders don't do jazz dances. Dancers don't do stunting, and they do lifts and shit, but like not to the caliber that cheerleaders do.
Wow.
So my win was the dance world. We were fed. They ate. We ate. Full bellies of dance content.
Yeah, no, that's great.
What was yours?
My win? Mm-hmm. Okay, it's weird, but I have a quote for the girls.
Okay.
So I made, my therapist told me, and I texted to Lindsay today, and I was like, you know what? That's my fucking win of the week. Are you guys ready?
Uh-huh.
It's really profound. So it's 2 statements, and they go as follows. I am no longer over-explaining myself to those committed to misunderstanding me.
Yes.
The way that slapped me across the face. What a win. Mm-hmm. Second, I am no longer leaving space for people who make me feel like I take up too much or not enough.
Damn. Between you and Abbi fucking Gandhi's here. My God. Those are incredible.
Legitimately was like, both of them, like, we're doing like I am statements in therapy, and kind of like my ins and outs with therapy. But yeah, I am no longer over explaining myself to people or to those committed to misunderstanding me.
Stunning.
That was really regarding like in my life right now, like more like work centered. But I was like, hold on, you could smear that over any situation. Stunning. Yeah. So that was my win. Just a good ass therapy session.
Love.
Therapy is for the girls.
Stunning.
Do it.
Beautiful.
So that's my win.
I love it.
Yeah. And the Chiefs won. And that was really fun.
Mm-hmm.
Are we going to tell him?
No. We can't.
We have to. We can't not tell them.
I feel like you have to tell them.
We have to tell them.
Because it's okay
Raegan.
to break it.
All right, girls, we did it.
We broke dry January.
And Vic ended up in the... I'm just kidding.
And repercussions.
And I ended up in the ER.
Not for drinking related, but like God was like, try again.
Yeah. And then Raegan and Chloe had to be in the ER with me all day.
But truly had the time.
No,
of our
you guys, it
lives.
was the best day of the year so far.
It's the sound. Boy, did we have a time
Last night.
The
But it
nurse
was
called us
during
the
the
fun
day.
room.
Okay, yeah. So to catch you guys up to speed, really quick. My loss of the week was that I spent Sunday in the ER. It's fine. I just have endometriosis, and it was just a little scare. But the girlies didn't know that. Girlies, including me, and we just wanted to make sure because I was in an unreal amount of pain. Endometriosis, not for the girls.
Not slay.
Is exclusively
For the girls, but we don't want it.
We don't want it to be for the girls. Out 2024 endometriosis. So anyway, that's why I was there. But the night prior, Raegan and I did break dry January, and oh, did we break it? It wasn't a light break. It wasn't a little hairline fracture. It was a full colossal fucking break.
Shattered. And it, like, the funniest part about it is we were like, we'll have a beer. We'll start slow.
Like, oh my gosh, just like a little Mick Ultra to kick off this playoff football game.
No.
No.
Shots were had.
It escalated so quickly, girls.
Yeah.
So if you're hearing this and you're still going so strong on your dry January,
Keep it up.
if that's your thing, if it's not, totally fine. Probably shouldn't be ours, but we're hopeful. So don't tempt yourself. Don't go to the sports bar because we don't have self-control. Little thing about us. So as soon as we saw each other, well, first of all, it was before we even saw each other. We were texting about it on our way there. And she was like, we, and I was like, I, and she was like, might, and I was like, Michelob Ultra. Chloe's shaking her head at us.
Yeah.
I've been alienated.
You haven't drank?
No, I thought we were in this together.
Oh my
I was
God.
upset.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Well, anyway.
Well, she was upset because she thought, and I'm not putting words in your mouth. This is what you told me. So correct me if I'm wrong. She was upset because she was like, well, are you going to do non-sober activities now? And I was like, no. We are very much back on it. Like, it was just a lapse in judgment.
Yes. Like,
Yeah.
I'm no
our-
longer drinking.
Our sober Friday nights, back on.
Absolutely. We still have to do sober activities on Fridays, which, what was last Friday's? We have to tell the girls.
We went to see the Mean Girls
we
movie.
went and saw Mean Girls musical, which it is a musical, and if you don't like that, then shut up.
And also, great movie, phenomenal. We left feeling great. However, I am now on the actual musical side of Mean Girls TikTok, where it's like the Broadway musical.
Is it better?
We were robbed.
The ensemble just adds.
Yeah.
We were robbed.
I get that.
Renee Rapp still slayed. The movie was still great. It was the exact same Mean Girls that we all know and love.
Yeah.
Just with songs. But I wish that they would have done the Broadway version of the songs.
Right, I get that. Yeah.
But-
Okay, so Friday, sober, movie, great. Saturday, not sober, not great. We had a great time.
Great time.
But then yes, Sunday was ER. So that was my loss. My loss was falling off of the dry January because of the Chiefs win. And then, yes, ultimately residing in the ER for the majority of Sunday with my best friends. But there's better places we could have been.
Correct.
Less expensive,
Very
for sure.
true. Very true. Very true.
That was an expensive turkey sandwich.
But world class.
The turkey sandwich.
So, girls, little inside joke I'll just let you guys in on. I was starving because I couldn't eat. And then I was like, can a bitch get some fucking saltines? And they said no. But what we can do is bring you a build your own turkey sandwich box.
She was like, do you want our world famous turkey sandwich? Who wouldn't?
She heard us making jokes and she's like, let me take a stab at it.
That was a joke.
I think she was joking.
Yeah.
Oh.
Obviously, it was pre-wrapped turkey. It was in a
Correct.
sealed Ziploc. But yeah, so anyway, gross turkey sandwich and it was fine. But I'm fine. Don't worry. I'm okay.
We had a time that day.
We did.
It's actually my win of hanging out with my friends in the ER and being silly.
Chloe's like, you didn't ask, but my win was Vic going to the ER.
We were so...
We have never
I
been
mean,
funnier, I think.
that was truly the peak of my comedic career.
Yeah.
I want you guys to know that.
We always say, like, one day we'll get the audacity to vlog our just, like, mundane
That
moments.
is what we should have done.
We should get the security footage. The girlies were absolutely going. All right. Do you have a loss?
Yeah, but I feel like after that, it's just like, not as cool.
I mean, share it.
Well, like, back to the dance of it all. I miss coaching. That was going to be my loss.
Aww.
So that the girls, I was a dance coach for 7 years. This is my first season not doing it, and watching nationals and knowing the girls that I've coached are heading to nationals next month, and they are very much going to win it all. I'm calling it right now, and I'm not going to be a part of it. So that's sad.
I'm sorry. Can you go support them still or no?
I mean, it's in Florida. I could, but I'm not going to fly to Florida.
That's crazy. Don't do that.
Yeah, but
We
they're...
were for the Super Bowl last year, correct?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my God, I forgot you were at fucking Dance Nationals.
I
for
was
the Super
stuck in
Bowl.
an auditorium listening to awards with no service. I made friends with a little brother behind me that had the Super Bowl on his phone. I was like, "Are you from Kansas City?" And he was like, "Absolutely not." And I was like, "Well, you're going to have to tell me the score." And so he's the reason the whole auditorium knew that we won. They had to stop
I cannot
awards.
imagine an auditorium full of people not giving a fuck about the Super Bowl. That's so crazy to me.
No one had service. This kid somehow did. But, yeah, so anyway.
Well, shout out to that kid.
Yeah,
Wonder where he is now.
probably
Like,
gonna head
one-
back to Florida soon.
1 year older. He's just a kid.
Probably fine in Florida.
He's literally just a kid.
Like he's a lawyer.
What a
18
fun little
minutes in.
intro.
All right. Well, after that, do you feel caught up?
I do.
We spent the whole weekend together, so.
Yeah.
Our recap segment is where we recap not our weekend like we just did. I could see how you guys could get confused, but that our recap segment is where we go over last week's game predictions and stories and catch you up to speed. If there anything's shifted, changed, updated.
Yep. That.
Yeah.
Very much that.
So we lost some coaches last week. We lost some NFL coaches and we lost some college football coaches. And we're here to tell you that University of Alabama, who Nick Saban, legend, retired from last week, they did make a hire. They hired former Washington coach Kalen DeBoer. And yeah, he seems like a good guy.
Went from coaching in the national championship to this.
Right. And yeah, and he they went outside. They didn't go to like an assistant coach or someone within the organization, which they're kind of a lot of schools are known for, but specifically University of Alabama is known for it. And I think people are kind of patting them on the back for that decision from the press I've read. So I'm excited to see what happens. It's huge shoes to fill.
And they're like, I read something, I don't know if I like,
I don't know.
Yeah. I read something today about the transfer portal. Either they're predicting it to be extremely saturated of Alabama players or it already is. Like, they're not expecting last year's team to stick around.
Oh, because of this hire?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't think it's because it's, like, Kalen himself.
But just because it's not Nick Saban.
Correct, yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
So
I didn't read
fun
that.
to watch.
I mean, if we know one thing about that college transfer portal, it's that it is saturated.
It's the hinge of college athletics.
Did we just quote ourselves?
Yes. It was a great joke.
It was a good joke. That was a high five. All right. So on to NFL hirings. The Seahawks, Falcons, Titans, and Commanders are still on the hunt for their new coach. So, of course, there's speculation, rumors, tidbits, tweets. But there has been no solidified coach made.
Falcons have interviewed both Jim Harbaugh, the coach of Michigan currently, and then Bill Belichick, who was fired from the Patriots last week. But nothing has been offered.
I feel like those two are the ones people I'm really like seeing in so many directions. Like
Yeah.
all the hearsay. But the Chargers have also interviewed Jim Harbaugh, and they fired their coach Brandon Staley mid-season. But there's this thing called the Rooney Rule. Do you know about this?
Mm-mm.
So it's like a lot of like it mirrors a lot of like company structures as well, not just in athletics. But the Rooney Rule in college football is why they can't hire, like specifically the Chargers hired Jim Harbaugh immediately. They cannot hire a new coach without interviewing at least 2 external minority candidates in person. So they have to like fly them out there, have the conversation in person. It can't be like a call.
Gotcha.
So
very interesting.
That's why we're not seeing like immediate hires.
I would imagine that's the same for the Raiders because Jim Harbaugh's also like rumored to maybe go to the Raiders, but like the players want Antonio Pierce, so that makes sense that like they have to interview the external candidates before they can just like, hey Antonio,
Yeah,
you're it, buddy. Very interesting.
it is.
I did see too though that like Michigan is also renegotiating Jim Harbaugh's contract if he chooses to not go to the NFL. Have you seen all the stipulations?
Yes.
It's basically like because Michigan has been rumored to cheat. And so if his contract is restructured and he stays at Michigan, like there's all these clauses that like if the findings are true, he cannot be fired. If like like all this shit, I'm like, so tell me you did it without actually telling me.
Also, it's like number 1, don't cheat again.
Yeah. But then he's going to be like, I'm going to the NFL. You can't do anything to me. Bloop, bloop, bye.
That's actually what the clause says. It's bloop.
Bloop.
All right. Well, yeah. So that is kind of the update on the coaching of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Anything else you want to add?
There were rumors that Dallas, after they lost so horrendously in the wild card round, which we'll talk about, they were going to be like, fuck you, McCarthy. We're bringing in Bill Belichick.
Which we thought there would be rumors about Nick Sirianni from the Eagles. And I could have swore that little mofo was on the chopping block, but I even looked it up today because I was like, what are people saying?
Well, they were doing exit interviews with the team this week.
Yeah.
So I would imagine once they get the feedback, then maybe they'll make some moves.
Dude, there's not one guy I want to see replaced more. Get out of the NFL. I hate you. Which he would just go to another team. But you're annoying.
Yeah, very much so.
None for Nick. Why do I keep saying Nick Saban? All for Nick Saban. None for Nick Sirianni.
Yeah,
bye.
Get fucked. All right. So, great segue.
Yeah.
I'm
sorry.
glad you brought that up.
Mean Girls reference.
We're recapping the NFL wildcard weekend. So round 1 of the playoffs have happened. We are on to the divisional round. But first, we must talk about last week's games.
Yeah. We also need to give the girls an update on our bets because if you don't know, Raegan and I have been betting on each week.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like one person wins each week of football.
Yes.
According to the games that we bet on.
Correct.
Raegan is winning
6-4.
6-4.
Yep.
So I need these next 2 weeks, girlies.
Pick wisely.
Yep.
Okay, so recapping the AFC wildcard weekend, Ravens had the first round bye, so they will make their playoff debut this weekend against we'll talk about it.
I'm going to look it up right now. So.
No, because it's listed down below. They're playing the Browns.
Okay.
Or they're playing the Texans. Idiot. They're playing Texans. Okay. Anyway. Ravens had the first
Saturday
round bye.
at 3:30 they're playing the Texans.
Correct. Chiefs played the Dolphins in the 4th coldest NFL game in history.
Mm-hmm.
Chiefs won 26-7, propelled us straight into Breaking Dry January, and Andy Reid had a frozen mustache.
The Chiefs won, and Raegan and Victoria lost.
Truly. But I will lose time and time again for a Chiefs win.
I will lose time and time again to see Tyreek Hill not happy.
Yeah.
All right.
It was a great game.
It was a great game, and we did have a great time.
Sure did.
The Bills versus the Steelers. The Bills won 31-17.
And so did Vic.
And so did I. I won that one.
I thought the Steelers would put up more of a fight, but they suck.
Yeah, that was surprising and sad.
Yeah.
Shock and surprise.
Bills got kind of beat up in that game, though, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
The Browns versus the Texans. The Texans win 45-14, and Vic won again.
Yeah, that's okay, because here's the thing. I wanted C.J. Stroud to win that game, but I was like, Joe Flacco could do it.
Yeah, he didn't.
He's won a Super Bowl before, so, like, whatever. But I'm happy to lose that one.
Okay.
Because that means C.J. Stroud won, you know?
Yeah.
And when C.J. Stroud wins, we all win.
My TikTok algorithm wins.
Exactly.
All right. So then in the NFC, the 49ers had the first round bye. Mm-hmm. And they play, who do they play?
Packers.
The Packers. So they go on to play the Packers this coming week. The Packers did play the Cowboys, and they did win, and it was the win of the week.
48-32, absolutely obliterated the Cowboys. And,
I
like,
wouldn't say that's absolutely obliterating them.
the Cowboys, like, came back because, like, C.J. Stroud was out. They were playing their
yeah.
second. They weren't playing their starters. But up until that point, obliterating. And shocker to none, it was not the Cowboys' year.
America's team did not look so good.
America's team only has 4 playoff wins.
Yeah.
Ever.
I know. The stats are not statting. It's because they're, like, one of the richest teams, and I just think that's so silly. You need to got it.
Rams versus Lions. Lions won 24-23 in a fucking nail biter.
Yeah.
And honestly, I was rooting for the underdog all season,
too.
but I'm sick of their shit.
Me too. I agree.
Don't boo Matthew Stafford's kids.
That is the lamest.
Hey girls, editor Raegan here, walking back what we said because apparently Kelly Stafford has walked back what she said and her children were not booed, so carry on.
And they were like, Jared Goff has done more and, like, has won more blah 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 than Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford quite literally left Detroit, went to the Rams, and won the fucking Super Bowl the first time he was there.
And also,
so, like,
shut up about it. Shut up.
Shut up.
Shut up.
It's going to be that kind of episode
Stop
again.
yelling at children and shut up about it.
Yeah.
You don't have Matthew Stafford anymore. So cheer on your quarterback and shut up about it.
Oh, no, they are, though. That's what they're saying. They're like, Jared Goff, Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, but then just do that. Just cheer on your quarterback.
Yeah.
Don't even bring up the other quarterback.
Yeah, it's fucking
That's so
stupid.
Weird. It's such weird behavior. I hate
lame.
it. And I hate
Anyway.
that it's so loud for him. Like, I hate that.
Yeah.
It's just weird fucking energy.
And then his wife, of course, being the fucking Jim that she is, was like, it's sports, just don't boo my kids. And she was like, but I know what this means to this city, so go fucking win it all. Like,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
Lions suck. Kelly Stafford? Sure.
Yeah. My MVP.
Again, walking that back, Lions don't suck as much anymore, and Kelly Stafford still is great, but maybe fibbed a tiny bit. So, anyway.
All right. And then, Eagles versus Bucks. Bucks stomped 32-9.
That's an obliteration.
Yeah. And I did win that bet, but that's okay. You won the week.
Yeah. I was pulling for the Eagles just because Jalen Hurts and Jason Kelce. That was a sad one. Like, it was sad to watch.
Yeah, it was.
Jalen Hurts' poor finger. Jason Kelce's poor last football game ever.
Which we'll get.
Yeah.
We'll cover that. But hopefully
Sad.
Nick Sirianni's last fucking game in the Eagles uniform.
Yeah.
Sick of your shit.
Eagles uniform.
Well, he fucking thinks he's out there in an Eagles uniform. I'll tell you that. All right. So, wild card weekend. Really, the only, like, game that was, like, intense was Rams versus Lions.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I wouldn't say there was, like, the beginning of ours was still, like, a game.
Yeah.
Ours meaning Chiefs versus Dolphins.
Yeah. Okay.
So now we're going into the divisional round predictions.
These are some nail biters.
This
round is insane.
Yeah, so we have the Bills versus the Chiefs. The Bills are favored, minus 2.5. And this is the first road playoff game for Mahomes.
Bills are banged up. They've had 2 days less of rest because they had to move their game. I'm hopeful. It's gonna be a game. Like, there's not one point where either team's gonna be just coasting in the game. It's gonna be intense.
Yeah.
But I will bet on the Chiefs 10 times over to pull that one off.
Yeah. I would be absolutely lying if I said that I wasn't, like, worried. Like, there are absolute loud worries, but I do feel good about our team, and I think we got some wind under our sails, and I'm believing.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy Reid, I believe.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then we've got Texans versus Ravens. Ravens are
Texans
favored.
versus Raegans.
Ooh. Raegans are favored minus 9.5. Lamar Jackson is coming off a 19-day break.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, is that much rest good, or did you lose momentum going into the playoffs because you had over 2 weeks off?
What do you think?
I personally would be like, you might have lost momentum.
So you're going with the Texans.
You're trying to get in my head so that you can win the week, and I see what you're doing. But I do think it could happen.
So you're going to go Texans.
I'll go Texans.
Ravens.
Do you actually believe that, or are you just betting me?
I actually believe that.
Okay.
Yeah. I think CJ Stroud, as mentioned, love. But Lamar Jackson is that guy.
He never plays well in the playoffs, though.
Okay, we'll see.
Okay. You heard it here first, girls.
I love whenever you talk like that, you just gradually get higher. You're like, he never plays well in the playoffs, though.
All right. We got Packers versus 49ers.
49ers.
Yeah. Kyle Shanahan said in his presser, he was like, we started preparing for the Packers after the first quarter of the Cowboys game. Like, they were like, fuck the Cowboys, we'll take the Packers.
That is so mean to the Cowboys.
Good.
Yeah, no, I know. I'm not sticking up for them. You know.
Lions versus Bucks. Lions are favored -6. I think I have to take the Lions.
I'll take the Bucks. I don't feel good about that one.
But you shook on it. Okay, well, that's the divisional round preview.
We didn't make a bet for Packers 49ers. You both have 49ers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, whatever. I don't feel good about that last one. And these all matter to me, you know? Because I can't lose. I only have 2 wins.
We could tie this week, though. And then we would have a tiebreaker.
So I don't have to do that. I can take Lions, too. Is that what you're saying?
And then we have it all riding on one game.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I want to omit my...
Damn, Bucks fans, you hear that?
I mean, I don't like Tampa in general, so...
Oh.
That was personal. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay.
JK,
Well,
LOL. Hee hee.
I'm getting out my motherfucking popcorn for this weekend because the games are going to be insane.
Yeah.
And I just have to
Let
say...
the games begin.
If we would have ended up with this 3:30 Saturday game at home, you would have seen me combust because I would have had to fucking work. Okay?
Yeah.
And you guys all would have been out there, and you all would have been having fun, and you all would have been having the time of your life watching the Chiefs together, and I would have been...
The Bills won for Raegan, actually.
Josh
Insanity.
Allen, me,
Josh Allen
Peppa
for
Pig,
Raegan.
Josh Allen. Loves us all.
Yeah. Okay, so that wraps up our predictions.
Mm-hmm.
And we're moving on with none other than a sponsor.
Yes.
The Good Patch are wearable patches designed to make each day just a little bit easier. Whether you need to look alive, find your zen, or clock in some beauty sleep, they've got you covered. Simply peel, stick, and wear for up to 8 to 12 hours. We suggest the Rescue for hangovers, Relief for sore muscles, Cycle for that time of the month, and B12 for a little extra energy. I absolutely needed all of these on Sunday.
Truly.
Use code NAME3PLAYERS at checkout for 15% off.
Fuck my IV. I'll take a Good Patch, please.
Excuse me, I'm sponsored, so if you could just not put that in me and put this on me, thanks.
I'm imagining you just roll up your sleeves like patch.
Like, no need to take me to the ER, girls. Got my B12.
All right. Well, that takes us into our top 3 sports stories of the week.
That's why you're here.
We let you know what you need to know.
We let you know what you need to know.
Mm-hmm.
35 episodes in, still just doesn't have it fully.
That's okay. Okay, so our first story of the week is Jason Kelce has teased his retirement. It came after they lost to the Bucks on Monday night. He had a little moment with his coach on the sidelines. He went into the locker room, reportedly told his teammates what he was doing, and then it was then leaked from the media. He has not yet said that that's what he was doing. But based on his podcast that he posted on Wednesday, it's coming, but he just wants to do it the right way.
I think, yeah, it's sad that when things leak that aren't official statements from these people, like he dedicated his whole career to this team and this sport, and it's sad that he didn't get to be the one to like break that news. But as of right now, it is unofficial. So if we've learned anything about big names retiring in sports, is that they can undo it and they can come back. So until he says it and it's his official statement, I think it does remain right now as like a tease, an unofficial statement.
Yeah, he said that after such an emotional loss like that, like you don't feel like you're in the right mindset to like make that decision. And he was like, I did have a conversation with my teammates and unfortunately shit was leaked, but he wants to make that. Yeah.
Hell of a football player and deserves his time to say his piece. So, and dedicated so much time to this sport.
Yeah.
He, just some quick stats. Jason Kelce finishes his career at age 36 with 7 Pro Bowls and 13 seasons, 6-time first team All-Pro selections, and establishing a franchise record by starting 156 consecutive regular season games. That's so many football games.
Mm-hmm.
And then being the only center since 1970 who has won a Super Bowl and earned his first team All-Pro honors 6 times.
Yeah. I mean, I think the country has gotten to know and love him over the last year with his documentary that came out, with the podcast. Like, you can't not love the guy. Like, he's great. He's the best in the league at what he does at his position. I don't think he's going anywhere out of the football realm, just maybe not suiting up every Sunday.
I think, he'll have a lot of opportunities. I would love to see him behind a mic. But, yeah, we'll update. That will definitely be in our recap segment, in the weeks to come whenever he decides to make his official announcement.
Yes.
All right. Next story is our girl, Caitlin Clark, and that she is, in fact, that girl. In her game on Tuesday night, she rounded out a 32-point game with a 3-point shot from the logo, her classic little swoosh, passing NBA star Brittany Griner on the NCAA scoring list. So that means now she has the 4th most points in D1 history with 3,306. If you are following this gal, she gets compared to LeBron a lot, which is just a crazy statement to even make.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's getting compared to LeBron, and for good reason. Just once again, some quick stats. Career averages of LeBron in the NBA and Caitlin at Iowa. Points, LeBron 27.1, Caitlin 27.8. Rebounds, LeBron 7.5, Caitlin 7. Assists, LeBron 7.3 and Caitlin 7.9. So, quick math. She's winning.
She's winning.
Girl math.
Literally insane.
Crazy to have him play one-on-one. Like, obviously, I know the sports are, people playing them are different.
I mean, yeah, he would absolutely house her because size.
She's like, quick.
But
she could like run underneath his legs.
Yeah.
they both.
That's like a Space Jam theme.
They could do like a charity one-on-one.
Yeah. Like
he
have a
did call
handicap.
her his goat.
Yeah.
But in like 15 games this season, they both have over 450 points, over 100 rebounds, over 100 assists, and a 900 winning percentage. Both of them in 15 games. Like,
yeah,
that's fucking insane. Vic is also on her TikTok.
Our thirst trap TikTok for Caitlin Clark as well. I made it. Mama, I made it. Also, my shirt still hasn't came in the mail, but I will let you guys know when it does because yay.
Tell them how I bamboozled you.
Dude, that was so mean. Iowa and Missouri are close together, and geography podcast. So Chloe was at our like a local grocery store and was like, in our group chat, in our NTP group chat, was like, oh my God, Caitlin Clark is here. And I was like, well, fucking walk up to her and introduce yourself. Oh my God. And she was like, okay. And then she sent a photo and it was a fucking cardboard cutout. Had me geeking. I was like,
funny.
Where are you? I was tracking your location. I'm like, I'm showing up.
She was like, oh my God, give her a
Name
koozie.
3 place koozie.
Yeah, I just keep them things on me.
You should.
Sometimes.
That should be in
I
your
really
job
didn't expect
description.
y'all to fall for it, but man, did y'all
I
fall
thought,
for it. Y'all
for a second, I was like,
fell.
is she from here?
No, but she's a
No,
huge
'cause
Chiefs fan.
Hy-Vee started in Iowa.
She also be here. She's a Chiefs fan.
Yeah. Okay, our final story is another just that bitch in sports, and it's Coco Gauff advancing to round 3 of the Australian Open after escaping a day 4 upset. So she is the reigning U.S. Open winner. This extends her 9-match winning streak at a Grand Slam, and will move on to play in round 3 against American Alicia Parks, who has advanced to the 3rd round for the first time. So, like, American women fucking shit up over there.
Absolutely.
Down under.
Down under.
And the clip of her after, did you see her, like, writing on the camera and said, look good, feel good?
Yes.
And they were like, what's that about? And she was like, well, I mean, I think New Balance has me looking pretty good, and I feel pretty good, so I'm going to play pretty good.
She is taking this New Balance deal and running with it, and I'm love.
Yeah.
Absolutely love.
Yeah, so our girl's back on top and hoping that she gets to the finals.
Yeah.
Takes
She
it all.
has Coco Gauff. I was like reading a little bit about her earlier in the week, and she's number 1 in doubles and number 3 in singles.
Yeah.
In the world.
She is that girl.
She is that bitch. Coco Gauff, you are that bitch.
Correct.
And unfortunately, we have a dishonorable mention for our +1 story this week. Sometimes we do that. We'll throw a little, what would you call it? An honorable mention normally.
Yeah.
But today, it's a dishonorable mention, and that is Josh Giddey of the NBA will not face charges following being a fucking weirdo and having an inappropriate relationship with a minor.
Yeah.
That news was announced today, Wednesday.
Like, just yet another man that we have to report on that is being a
fucking dork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stupid. So, I mean, are we shocked, though, he faced no time off of the
No.
court during all of this? So, whatever. Idiot. All right.
Girlie, if you're listening to this, also don't be a dumb weirdo, dork, girly.
Yeah.
Stay away from him. That's weird. That's gross. All right. So before we move on to our walkout fit of the week and our glow up 101 segment, we have yet another sponsor, and you know it, you love it. It is
Waterboy.
Our walkout fit of the week is brought to you by Waterboy. Replenish after a long weekend with a stick of Waterboy. Raegan, did you Waterboy after Saturday?
I'm out.
Oh. Guys, go buy this so we can get Raegan some more Waterboy.
Yeah.
Formulated with electrolytes and vitamins, this hydrating drink mix helps reduce nausea and fatigue and helps you chill out after a weekend out. Each stick of Waterboy is vegan, has 0 sugar, and includes 3 times electrolytes and vitamins than its competitors. The original Weekend Recovery is available in strawberry lemonade and blue raspberry flavors with the newest Athletic Recovery and lemon lime. So whether it's from working out or going out, reach for Waterboy. Use code FORTHEGIRLS for 15% off your purchase.
Did you use it?
I did. Prior to the ER.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But hey, the thought was there.
It was.
You tried. All right. So our walkout fits of the week. You know it, you love it. Vic and I just use this as an excuse to talk about fashion and mix it with our love for sports. What is yours?
Mine is Debo Samuel in this crochet knit poncho situation. Hoodie. What would you call that? all the above.
Yeah.
Love it. You know, we've talked about it this year. I've just like really loved knit crocheted moments, and he's killing it. Always does, but in this specifically. And he paired it with like a wide leg leather trouser. Did I just mix red and wide together? I think I did.
Oh.
A wide leg leather trouser in red. That was so hard in my brain. And then little thing about me, love a man with a tote bag. And he has this Go Yard green tote bag. It's almost like a briefcase. Love.
Stunning.
So, yeah.
He's a frequent flyer here on the pod.
He is.
He rules.
He be dressing. Debo Samuel.
Mine is a twofer. It's Shiloh and Shadur Sanders. What? It's Shiloh and Shadur Sanders walking in the Louis Vuitton Spring 24 men's show.
Gosh, and I love athletes walking in runway.
Yeah.
Yes.
And like truly, if they did not get their come up from being athletes, like they could have got it from being a model alone.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Like stunning.
Bone structure on 10.
Yeah.
Incredible.
So they fucking ruled the runway.
Raegan, that was a really good choice.
Thank you so much. All right. Well, let's not make the girls wait anymore.
We know why you're here. You're glowing up, girls. All right. Well, this is nutrition for the girls. We hope you love it. We, once again, are obsessed with this girl. And not to toot our own horns, but like we fucking killed it with picking these women.
Yeah.
Like they're such badasses, and we loved our conversation with her, and we know you will too. So enjoy.
Okay, so today, as far as our Glow Up 101, we are focusing on nutrition, and we have registered dietitian. She's also a personal trainer, Abbi Brown, with us, and she's going to answer some questions for the girls and also just give us kind of a rundown. We're essentially with the Glow Up, like trying to break our bias on all of these kind of otherwise heavy, difficult topics. And nutrition is, I would say, probably the heaviest.
Yeah.
Food,
I agree.
yeah. Like food in general, I think is one of the trickiest things to talk about, especially as a woman and at our age specifically, I would say. So Abbi, we can't wait to hear from you. And we've kind of been like obsessed with your content since we decided to have you on. And we're so excited you're here.
Oh my gosh. Well, I was so honored that y'all reached out. I am so excited to go through these questions and chat with y'all. It just like you said, it is confusing and it can be overwhelming. And that's really what I try to help women out with on social media, and is one of the biggest reasons why I even decided to become a personal trainer in the first place, because nutrition is hard. They didn't make it easy for us.
Yeah, definitely. So kind of just going into that, give like a brief overview of who you are, how you became an expert in your field, all that stuff.
Yeah. So I have been a dietitian for almost 4 years now. Shortly after becoming a dietitian, I decided to tack personal training right on there. Growing up and playing sports, nutrition and exercise have always been so integrated for me. And I feel really fortunate enough that I've had an easy go most of the time with nutrition and exercise. Just with my experience growing up, my mother is a dietitian. But as with all things, like high school and college is when you start to learn more about diets and these sizes that you quote unquote should start to look like. And it can mess with your head so quickly. I feel like as women, so many of us go through that. I have seen so many of my friends go through different diets and really hard relationships with their self, with food, with exercise. And so that was another reason why I really wanted to get into nutrition. I just have always felt this passion for simplifying it, making it make sense. In this wellnessy world that we live in, it feels so complex. Like you need to be doing Pilates, but you also need to be training for a half marathon. And don't you dare forget about strength training. And you better be taking your greens powders. And at the end of the day, it's like, what the hell am I actually doing? Do I even want to be doing these things? So that's really how I got into everything. And a long-winded answer is just like, I love to simplify it.
Yeah. I think that's exactly what you do too. That's why I've always loved your content. And
As we were talking like right before this, we were saying like kind of part of our brand is like the busy girl who's like does have the job with the side hustle, like obviously sports. We love sports. Like we're watching sports. We're involved in a bunch of other things. And so even though we love to work out, love to eat, love to do all of these things, it can be so overwhelming. And then when you have this social media being shoved down your throat of all of these different things, like you just said that you should be doing, it can just become so overwhelming that you don't do any of it. And you're just like, okay, well, it can't all be true. So it must all be bullshit. And I'm not subscribing to anything. So give us like your approach. And if the girls are listening and it's like they've never even like taken a dive into it, or like where do they get started?
Yeah. Well, it's funny that when y'all mentioned earlier about specifically busy girl, I haven't told anybody this yet, but I'm actually working on a protein guide right now. It's literally called a busy girl's guide to a high protein diet. So
Oh my gosh, cute.
coming out soon, hopefully in the next few weeks. It's been a lot harder to put together than I thought it would be. But like I'm right there with you, with all of my clients. I feel like with all of my followers. Well, let me go back to your other question of where should someone start if they're just getting into it? And part of me wants to say social media, and then there's another big part of me that wants to say don't on social media. So I think what I would suggest is follow only like 1 or 2 wellness girlies that you feel you can really connect with, because all of them are going to do something a little bit different, and it doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. But when you're getting all 20 of their opinions, it's going to overwhelm you like crazy. Another big tip I would have is try not to get into any X amount of week challenges, like a 6-week diet, because all of those things have this end date. And while you might notice some fun changes in the beginning of it, most of the time it's not really teaching you these long-term sustainable habits. And that's what we're really here for. We don't want to just do a 6-week thing every single 6 weeks and hope for the best results. And most of the time it's like a very one size fits all kind of structure. When you and your lifestyle and your routine are so specific, and you deserve a routine and guidance that is very individualized to just you. So even with y'all too, best friends, have similar lifestyles, but what works for you, Raegan, might not work for you, Victoria. And again, it doesn't mean that anyone's doing anything wrong. It's just that you have to find something that's actually going to fit into your lifestyle. So start small is always my number one tip too. I know when we get into this wellness world, it can feel so exciting to want to do everything all at once, but it's just going to be near impossible to stay consistent with. So start small, get really good at that, and then tack on the next thing is always a really good place to start.
Like, damn, I needed to hear that right now with all my like new year, new me things.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's social media is a trap. It's very resourceful, but it is easy to fall into that. Like, so it's kind of comforting to hear that from a professional, to be like, it's not all cut and dry. Like, you just have to figure it out what works for you.
Yeah. And I think social media can be such an echo chamber, like as far as like, you get into this and it's like, you're hearing so much and it's like oversaturated. And then, like I said, you just become overwhelmed and it's like, okay, I'm unsubscribing. I think something especially surrounding like maybe obsessive dieting, disordered eating, that those are like really heavy things. And when it's like you open your phone to like find leisure, or like, open Instagram to scroll, and it's like a photo of a girl's abs, a photo of like a macro bowl, like every single post you see is like something that has to do with diet, nutrition, that can also just be like, oh my gosh, like so overwhelming. So I think, limiting your content is super helpful.
Yeah.
And also like letting your social media cater to you. you should go on there. And while I know all of us are trying to not be doom scrolling anymore, but your social media should be a place where you can find peace or fun or great advice and not make you feel like a piece of shit when you get off of it. And so like a big common one is when you notice that your body image is tanking or you're nitpicking every single piece of yourself, unfollow or just like mute anyone who you feel like you see their posts all the time and you're just eating yourself up about it because you don't look like them. It's not going to benefit you. They're not going to miss your follow. Like, you just tailor it more to you. I think we can make social media more powerful for us instead of just such a negative space, which it often is.
Yeah.
That's damn great.
I'm like, damn, that's good.
So obviously you're very passionate about like women in general and like the nutritional goals and everything. So what made you develop this passion to kind of provide a safe space for women to figure all of this out for themselves?
Yeah. I think I don't know. I don't think lucky is the right word, but you know, by the time I was in high school and in college, social media was really, really taking off, or specifically Instagram. And I could just see all of this dieting stuff start to come out. And I don't know what the hell was with me as like a young kid where I just hated diets. It would infuriate me when people would say like, oh, well, carbs are bad for you or X, Y, and Z. I just like had all of this little pent up anger in my little kid body about that. And so it just carried with me when I hopped onto social media at, 14. And it never slowed down. If anything, it just progressed. And then you go to college and you have roommates and they're dieting, or you're noticing like wacky ass eating habits that they're starting to do because of things that they're seeing on social media. So that is really the biggest driver. As much as I really love social media, it can be so toxic and dangerous and harmful. And I just really wanted to be a light or like a place where someone can feel like, oh shit, this actually is starting to make sense.
Yeah, for sure.
That's amazing. So as far as meal prepping goes, I know that's like such a coined term. Are you a meal prep girly? Do you like advise the girls to meal prep? What does that look like for you?
Yeah. Okay. So hot take. As a dietitian, I really don't like cooking. Like, I do it because
Real.
like, I cook to eat. I don't cook because I get joy out of it, like, at all. And I really wish I did. It kind of sucks. But so I'm all about making it easier for yourself when it comes to food. I'm also a dietitian who is not a big fan of meal prep. Personally, I get the ick. If my chicken is 2 days old, like, I can't eat it. It's got a weird smell. It's a little slimy. I'm just not going to do that. I think that meal prep can be so extremely helpful. So I'm not a hater on meal prep. I actually have a lot of my clients do a little bit of prep. It's not for me most of the time. But what I do often suggest is pretty much no one is going to want to eat their meal prepped food on Thursday and Friday. It's the end of the week. You're excited for the weekend. You don't want to eat the shitty food that you made on Sunday. You're tired of eating it all week long anyways. So I really like a 2-part meal prep. So do what you got to do on Sunday, whether you're prepping for all 3 meals or just 2 or 1, whatever that looks like for you. Do that, but only make enough to go through lunch on Wednesday. And then Wednesday night, make a fresh new dinner. Have that for leftovers for your lunch tomorrow. And then you really only have Thursday dinner and Friday lunch to get through. And from there, you could totally just make more meal prep, or just start to utilize other options that you don't actually have to cook. Because that's the other thing with meal prep is you will get so burnt out on cooking so fast.
Making grilled chicken.
Right.
Yeah.
And even like, I got into a phase where I could not eat grilled chicken 1 week and then again the next week, even if it was just for a couple meals. So those like hardcore meal preppers, I don't know how they do it. It is literally a mental hurdle to get over chicken sometimes. But
Yeah.
I always suggest keeping a few good frozen options on hand. So like Trader Joe's has really, really good frozen meals. But honestly, any grocery store, take a second, go up and down the frozen food section, see what is going to maybe fit for you. Most of the time, you'll probably have to add something to it. So for the Trader Joe's ones, as an example, they usually have, like they have a really good chicken tikka masala where it's the chicken and the rice. It's so tasty, but it's not really enough for a full meal. So add like some carrots on the side. You don't even have to cook it, carrots and hummus, or a bagged salad mix. They have the best salads there. So you can kind of piece it together, but you're not really cooking, like you're just microwaving it. Or since you did such a good job of meal prepping all week, like go get a kava bowl, go get a Chipotle bowl. Those things are so easy to, if you're someone who tracks macros, you can make that fit into your macros so simply. And that's another easy one where they give you such big portions that it could be leftovers for the next day.
Yeah, that's such a good. I love what you said about Thursday and Friday, because I do like Monday morning, like there's no badder bitch than me. Like I have an entire fucking like meal plan. Like I have it written in my calendar. I'm a calendar girly. Like everything is mapped out. And then it does hit about Wednesday evening, actually, literally tonight. It hits like right around podcast night. And then I'm like, the tenacity has stopped. There's really
badder bitches than you.
There's so many more bad bitches than me. And like I really do die out by then. And I think it's easy to fall off if you don't have some sort of plan in place. So yeah, I think we do Chipotle all the time on Wednesday night. It's like a Wednesday or a Chipotle Wednesday salad is definitely a hit.
Yeah. And I'm kind of on the opposite. Like I am somebody that like I can eat the same shit 6 days in a row. Like it doesn't bother me. I'm just like there to make sure that it's healthy, what's going in my mouth and whatever. But I waste so much food because then I'm like, oh, well, dinner plans have been made. And then I like try to be smart about that. So now I'm taking a different approach. Like, I don't give a shit what I'm eating, like taste wise, length wise of the week. But it's like, stop wasting food.
Yeah.
So then I like kind of took your tips.
The food that you don't eat.
Yeah. So like I prepped meals through tomorrow and then like I'll cook again, blah, blah, blah. But it's nice to have different solutions in place. Kind of on that same token, what are like some staples that girls can add to their grocery list just to make sure that they're getting their nutrients for the week?
Yeah. The tough one typically is protein. I think that's another one where at the beginning of the week, we're all like, I'm going to fucking crush it with protein, like 2,000 grams of protein every single day, easy peasy. And then protein is the one that we get sick of so fast. It doesn't matter what it is. You just get tired of it. So I really like the idea of having a few options on hand for when you just don't want to eat a meat or a protein along those lines. So like a good protein powder, yogurts, cottage cheese, protein bars. There's so many good. And I'm really not a huge advocate for supplements, but protein bars and protein powder can make your life so much easier. So find ones that you actually enjoy, keep them on hand at all times. And so, for example, often for lunch, I'm just so busy and something about lunch, like I don't want meat at lunchtime. And I'm not about to just whip up a chicken breast real quick for lunch. So sometimes it's just like peanut butter toast and a protein smoothie that I can make. Smoothies are another one where you can pack so many nutrients into it and it feels so easy to eat. It doesn't make you feel uncomfortably full. Like it's really the most bang for your buck a lot of the time.
Yeah. There's something sexy about a lunch smoothie too. Like I really love a lunch smoothie.
Agreed. Yeah. Another one, rotisserie chicken is always going to be that girl. Like she tastes way better than any chicken you'll be able to make yourself. And you could be a great cook, but I'm sorry, the grocery store does it better. So rotisserie chicken is a must. Shred it up, have it 400 different ways throughout the week. That's one that I could eat for like a few days in a row. Eggs, I would say always keep eggs on hand. And then some sort of bread that you like sourdough bread. I don't know. I can eat that for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And toast gets a bad rep because it's just carbs, you know, but you need the carbs. And whether you're getting it from rice or potatoes, pasta, bread, like it all gets broken down into the same thing. So
Run that, girls, you need the carbs.
yes.
I'm talking to myself here. Like that's I know that, and I will be completely honest, like my disordered eating, I've definitely weaved in and out of it. And like carbs are the one thing, like shout out 90s moms, you know, like they did not have the resources we did. And like, I fully remember like the Atkins diet, like completely eliminating all carbs, bread, anything even remotely good. And I think that's still very much ingrained in me, regardless of how many like resources I read and smart people like you that say otherwise. So yeah, I think we need an exclamation point on that.
Eat the carbs.
The fucking
Olive
carbs.
Garden.
Love that. Do you feel like when you're eating less carbs, do you start to get really strong cravings for sweets or chips, things like that?
Oh, I'll even go further. I just become a bitch. So like, and just like very emotional. Like if I'm going through something, my stress, when I'm stressed, I lean into not eating versus like overeating. And it become just like intolerable.
Yeah.
So and I've really like ran that through of like, I become overly emotional and just like, I hate life because I do truly love carbs. So I'm like my joy.
Yeah, it's so common for most women, I would say, that when we get stuck in that trap of no carbs or low carbs, and then now we're not eating enough, we turn into a bitch. And then we hit this point where it's like, oh, okay, I know that I have cookies in the fridge and I don't give a shit anymore. Like I haven't had carbs all week long. I'm going to eat 12 of these cookies. And then you feel like shit the next day. And it's like, if you would have just had the bread in the first place, this little binge that you just had would have never happened. You'd probably be lower on calories for the day anyways. So it's just like, just eat it. Like,
Yeah, damn, that's so good. And the cookies are not giving you energy. The sourdough bread probably is.
wow. And it's your body being smart when it does that, when it's saying like, oh, hey, go get those cookies, because it's like your body knows that you haven't had enough carbs. And so it's going to send you a craving so that it finally gets that energy dose that it's looking for. So if we're just nice to our bodies in the first place, it'll be so much nicer to us.
Damn. That was the takeaway.
That's
right there.
like, I'm literally like, this bitch is smart.
Yeah. The messaging there, like, just fucking listen to your
Stunning.
body, you dumb bitch.
Oh my God. Incredible.
Don't silence the cookie craving. Listen. It's trying to tell you something.
Oh my God.
Okay. What advice would you give to girls who, I would say this is a large portion of girls who are defeated by their health journey? And like we said, we already kind of covered like the ones that are starting out, but like how many times have we been defeated? Like, I don't even know. Today, probably 4. So what is your just like, you already killed it with that last little takeaway, but what would you give the girls who are just feeling like they can't get on top?
Yeah. So I know I said in the beginning that I really try to simplify things, and I do. I think like that is number one key is simplify. But simplifying isn't always sexy or enticing. Like those little 6-week challenges are exciting and they feel glamorous and like you have this excitement to do it, versus saying like, oh, I'm going to simplify this week. It doesn't have that same appeal. So while you're simplifying, glamorize at the same thing. Like let's make your routine a little bit fancier. And it doesn't mean that you need to wake up at 5 a.m. and do like a full face mask and like a sauna thing. But what can you do to spice it up and make yourself feel like, oh shit, this is like kind of fun and I feel really good doing this? But kind of going back to what we talked about earlier, you have to start so much smaller than you typically do. And even giving yourself a moment to reflect on, well, what have I done in the past? What is the common trait here? And is that something that I can change around? And so usually that's the one, is that we're doing way too much out the gate. So scale it back. But I think another one that makes it hard to stay consistent is when you feel like you're not seeing changes. So I feel like a lot of us will put all of our worth into the number on the scale. And if it's not changing by the end of the week, then what's the point to anything that I have done? And like, that's the number one mistake right there, is letting no time go by and changing it up already because the number hasn't moved. So just start small, trust what you're doing, and just try to stay consistent with it. You can make changes along the way, but doing a completely new routine every other week is not going to get you anywhere, and you're going to feel so exhausted. And that's when we hit the wall and like just shit goes out the window.
Yeah.
That's great.
And I think that can kind of like touch back to like what Edith was saying. And then like, I'm sure Chloe next week will talk about that too. Just like, there's so many things with this like wellness journey. So it's like, okay, I need to work out. I need to eat healthy. I need to be on top of my finances, but it's like, chill out. It's only been 17 days of the new year.
Right.
Like, don't bite off more than you can chew, literally.
Yeah.
But just like give yourself some grace to figure it out and figure out what works. And if something feels good, stay on track till you see those results.
Right.
But
And that's why we really did, like, when we set out to do this little, like, for the first month of the year, we aren't saying like, so for the month of January, we're going to the gym, we're, you know, eating healthier, we're redefining our habits. We have like, we're going to take a look at our finances a little deeper. Like, we really did set out to like kind of propel this throughout the year and then hopefully for the rest of our lives. Because I think too, like, as we said, with the overconsumption of social media, it's like constant. It's just this constant like voice being shoved down, narrative being shoved down our throats that we're not well enough. And like, no matter what, you're never going to be well enough. So like you said, with the cookies in the fridge, it's like, well, why the fuck not? Just go get the cookies in the fridge, because you're never going to be well enough. But if you take these like tiny bites out of each of these things, like, and just keep going, you can see results. I know that's what's worked for me, like individually too. Just small steps.
Exactly. It just, you can digest it so much easier. And then you just don't feel like you're going crazy sometimes. Like you mentioned on social media, everyone is doing a different thing, and it's labeled as you definitely need to be doing this. You should be taking this supplement. You have to be doing X, Y, and Z. And then it almost comes down to, well, why? Like, what does this really boil down to? Is this going to give me 30 extra years on my life? Like, what's really the end goal here? If what you're doing now is making you feel good, then you don't need to buy like the random powder that Kylie Jenner is using, you know, like just kind of like dumb it down for yourself. Like, oh no, I feel good with what I'm doing. I don't need to throw this random shit into my routine.
Right. And like, what is that actually even doing for them? Can we even trust it? Let's use our like real brain process and figure it out ourselves.
Exactly.
So we talk about traveling a lot here. And if the girls are traveling, we already said busy, but traveling specifically when it comes to nutrition, I always find that's when like things get harder and a little bit more wonky. So how can the girls stay on track while also like we believe in enjoying ourselves and not being super restrictive? One of my outs actually is restrictive mindset. So there you go.
I love that. And I think that goes right into what I would say initially too, is have some grace with yourself. You're traveling or you're on vacation or whatever it might be. Your food is going to look different than when you're home, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you are going to fail or lose any of the progress that you've made. Like, just get comfortable with that right there, that, okay, food is going to look different, but I'm just going to do the best that I can. And if I want to have the fried chicken instead of the grilled chicken at dinner, like, whatever, I'm going to eat the fried chicken. So don't overcomplicate it.
Love.
And then 2, just control what you can control. So for a lot of us, breakfast, like if you're at a hotel, breakfast is an easy one to control. most hotels are going to have at least eggs, toast, and fruit. That can be a really solid meal where you get a good dose of protein, a good dose of fiber, and it just kicks off the day really strong. And also trying to really prioritize water first thing in the day. Because after that, food and water are going to kind of go out the window. You're typically on someone else's schedule. Who knows when your next meal is going to be? Who knows what restaurant you're going to? So take advantage of the meals that you have the most control over. Do the best that you can when you're ordering out at restaurants. Again, if you can stick to something that's going to be a leaner source of protein and maybe something that's going to give you some vegetables, awesome. That will probably make you feel really good, but it doesn't mean that you shouldn't allow yourself to eat pizza at the same time. Like you can give yourself balance in that way. And then also it can be really helpful to bring a few like go-to food items. So those chomp sticks, the turkey sticks are really good to pack. Some protein bars can be a good one. Anything that's like not too crazy to bring on a plane. And then you can keep it in your bag, or if you need to add it to breakfast, or it's like a little snack that you have between breakfast and lunch while you're out traveling around. Those things can just help maintain some sort of consistency.
Yeah, it's so helpful.
That is helpful. I love what you said about controlling what you can control. And that is breakfast. Like, I do feel like, you know, instead of like running to a coffee shop and grabbing like a croissant and a latte every single morning, like really being like, okay, all I need is a protein, some fruit, maybe a piece of bread. That's such a good call. Good call.
Yeah. I think we've talked about like so many good things, like even just us sitting here, like, oh my God, I never thought it could be that easy. So if you like Vic said, we're planning to like use this as a trajectory for our year. So if you can give the girls like one thing to remind themselves when they're glowing up this year when it comes to nutrition, what would you say?
Okay, I would say stop copying someone else's diet or food habits and thinking that you will start to look like them because of doing it. And I think that just summarizes comparison in general. Like, just because Alexis Wren does that little 10-minute ab circuit doesn't mean that all of us are going to have the smallest body in the entire world, you know? So
wow, just like came from my throat with that one. Crazy. I literally have looked up that YouTube video. That's so silly.
Someone brought it up to me yesterday. I'm like, someone brought it up to me and I'm like, you opened this part of my brain that I forgot was even in there. Like all of these Alexis Wren or Chloe Ting workouts.
Oh, okay. The way that those YouTube videos still populate on my like algorithm, because they're like, bitch, you lived by this Alexis Wren ab workout on her floor. Like, where have you been?
Yeah, exactly. And it seriously, when you see her body, it's like, well, shit, I'm definitely going to do her ab routine. Like, she knows what she's doing, but she's also a bajillionaire who doesn't really have to do like go to quote unquote work. I'm sure she, does shit, but she's not going to a 9 to 5 like most of us. She can spend as much time on her health that she wants to. And we just don't have that luxury, and that's okay. So just like stay in your own lane with your own routine and don't let other people's routines swerve into your lane.
Damn. Abby. Incredible.
Y'all are blowing my head up.
Girls, you can't see it, but I'm standing. Okay, well, that was incredible. No further questions.
No notes.
No notes. Where can the girls find you and your recipes and your tips and your cute self?
Oh my gosh, you're so sweet. Yeah, I'm on Instagram at Abbi, it's ABBI, Abbi, the letter K, Brown. We're working on TikTok. Easier said than done. And then, like all things recipes on my Instagram, but also you'll probably see me talking about my one-on-one coaching services all the time. So if you're feeling like, hey, I need that simplification in my life, just hit me up. I can fit you in.
Ooh, simplification. That's a sexy word. Love in simplification.
I know. Once I learned from Chloe about my finance goals, one of my goals is to invest in Abby's program.
Wow.
I told you.
Is this deeper than money, Chloe?
Yes.
She is like the it girl.
Yeah.
She rules.
She knows what the hell she's talking about. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So do you.
She knows like the rest of you guys that are coming on. She was like, I'm so fucking set. So yeah, she's excited.
Okay, wow, that's huge. I'm definitely gonna have to listen to the episode.
We should all like get together at some point and be like, we are glowing girls.
Yeah. If you ever come back to Kansas City.
Yeah.
Gosh, no, I'm there like all the time, I feel like. So I'll let you know.
We'll let your
Nice.
girls know.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
You can come over. We can split a rotisserie chicken.
Okay. Amazing. Rotisserie chicken and sourdough bread. What a yummy meal.
My meal prep is just a container.
Abbi
Piece
said,
of bread.
eat the bread.
I like tag you. I'm like, Abbi Brown.
Oh, my gosh. Well, thank you so much for doing this. You truly are a gem, and we're
Yeah.
so excited to have the girls hear you.
Well, thank you so much for having me on. This was so much fun. And like, I'm obsessed with y'all's podcast already. I have only listened to a couple episodes so far, but like, you're on my regular radar now.
Thank you. It's usually
Yay.
not this productive. So just set the bar a little bit lower and you will love it.
Okay, I'll remember that.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Of course. Thanks, y'all. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that was Abbi Brown.
If you're as obsessed with her as we are, we get it.
Yeah. The girls that get it, and we get it.
Yeah.
And so does Abbi Brown. As mentioned, follow her. She does her one-on-one coaching. We are definitely going to be investing in that in the future, and we think you should too. We love supporting our fellow girlies, so do that. And yeah, the only thing we have left to do is our walk-up song of the week.
Our walk-up song of the week.
All right, take it away. What is it, Riggs? I always know if it's a giggle, it's going to be something silly.
It's this song called Indigo by Chris Brown.
By who?
It's by Chris Brown.
I'm sorry, what?
It's by Chris Brown.
One more time.
It's a song called Indigo by Chris Brown. I'm not proud of it.
But the song goes.
The song slaps.
We
and
let
it's-
art be art here on the podcast.
It's like Kanye. They're just, not the vibe sometimes, but their music
like
slaps.
most of the time, not the vibe, but the songs go.
I know.
We can separate the art and the person here on
Thank
this
you.
pod.
This is a safe space.
Well, mine is very unproblematic. So mine is "Leave Me Alone" by Raegan and Baby Keem. And,
Yeah.
Well, and Baby Keem is a remix because Raegan is a DJ, music producer, EDM guy, house music man.
How many names?
That's all.
Keep on going.
That's actually all I have. But yeah, no, the song is it's just playing on a loop in my head. It's on the workout playlist and it's just incredible.
If you need to run through a wall, put that on first, and then you'll have no problem.
Yeah, absolutely no problem. So it's definitely helping my glow up 101.
Yeah, great choice.
All right, well, any closing notes?
I don't think so.
All right. Have yourself a football weekend like we will. We will not be What? Yeah, that. We will not be breaking dry January. You hear it from us here. We're committing to the girls. We're not doing it. Why are you looking at me like that?
I thought we said for Chiefs games. We'll talk about it.
Okay. So we might be drinking. We might be drinking. We're gonna workshop that one and we'll come back. Girls, we appreciate you tuning in to this week's episode of Name 3 Players. How is it 35? That's freaking crazy. We release new episodes every Friday to cover the hard-hitting stories, and we let you know what you need to know. You can listen to our episodes on Spotify, iHeart, Amazon, and YouTube, and stay up to date on all that's happening around the sports world between episodes. And for more information on NTP events and sponsorships, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Name 3 Players, all spelled out. Finally, you can listen to all of our walk-up songs of the week and other special curated playlists for the girls by following us on Spotify at Name 3 Players. And of course, as always, have a weekend for the girls.
Bye.
Bye.